All right, y'all, welcome to the show. Hope everybody out there is having an awesome day. She almost did it, y'all. She almost did it. So, of course, I'm talking about last night. We had a special election in Tennessee, and Afton Bain, the Democrat, came close. But remember, this was an R plus 22 district. This was a Trump plus 22 district. So we had no business even being remotely competitive here. But it went from R plus 22 to R plus 8. So Afton came up short, but at the same time, it was a double-digit pickup, bro. It was a double-digit pickup. So there is nothing to be ashamed of here. In fact, people crunched the numbers on it, and they found that if we have the same pickup across the country as we did in this very deep red district in Tennessee, then in the midterms, Democrats would have like a 60 or 70 seat lead in Congress. They would dominate. They would curb stomp the right in the midterms. So really, really bad signs for Republicans here, even though they managed to defend and keep their seat. I have to admit, I did get my hopes up a little bit there. I really thought that she might be able to pull off the miracle. I really thought. But you know what it was? Being a Trump plus 22 district is a really, really tough hill to climb. But beyond that, from late October and onward, Republicans realized, oh shit, this is going to be an actual race. So they were all hands on deck. They were all hands on deck and they focused on it. We would have needed them to really kind of ignore the race in order for Afton Bain to win. But it's such a conservative part of the country that as soon as they started focusing on it, it made it very, very difficult. But either way, like I said, double-digit pickup, really incredible stuff. Afton, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You ran a phenomenal race, and kudos to you. But we just came up a little bit short. So we have that, of course, that happened last night. I just got the news right now that Trump just pardoned the corporate centrist Democrat, Henry Cuellar, who was convicted under Biden. He basically committed money laundering and bribery, I believe it was. So he's this incredibly, incredibly corrupt politician. Again, it goes to show you that Joe Biden, there was this allegation from Trump against Joe Biden and from Republicans against Joe Biden that they do political persecution and warfare and lawfare, I should say, against Republicans. Really? Then why do they go after Bob Menendez, a Democrat? Why do they go after Henry Cuellar, a Democrat? So it turns out they were actually just going after criminals. It turns out that's the case. But Trump pardoned a Democrat. Here. So why? Well, look, I mean, somebody's got to do the investigation. Somebody's got to do the reporting. But my guess is there was some sort of payoff behind the scenes. That's my guess. And it has to be proven, but that's my hunch at the moment. And hopefully somebody will dig into it because Trump is just pardoning one criminal after another. And the only way you can explain it is a direct pay-to-play scheme for these pardons. And so the other thing is he's lying and saying, the reason Biden went after Henry Cuellar is because he bravely spoke out against open borders. That's total fucking nonsense. Virtually every elected Democrat in the country is against open borders. This is your fucking cover story, and you need a cover story because there's something corrupt going on behind the scenes. Trump is ideologically pro-criminal at this point. It is very, very clear. So that's an insane story, but I got a lot of stuff to get to today. Trump went on a shockingly racist rant, then fell asleep mid-meeting. That was wild in this big cabinet meeting the other day. We also have the White House is now feuding with Sabrina Carpenter, the singer. How does that even happen? We'll talk about that. Then we have Tim Dillon goes absolutely mental on a Trump official, and it might be the first time I've seen him get this aggressive with somebody in this government because, of course, remember, he had hopped on the Trump train and, he was on their team for quite a while. And then later on, Joe Rogan has completely and utterly lost his mind. Wait until you hear his take on Jesus and AI. Jesus and AI. Okay, so buckle up for that one. But before I get into it, you guys know the drill. Everybody please do me a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time. Support the show on Patreon. You could tip with that thanks button on YouTube. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never done an ad read, never talked to an advertiser, never talked to a billionaire or a government or a PAC or anything like that. You guys fund this show from the ground up. We're very proud of that fact. So thank you for everybody who does help support the show. You can also sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. And check out Corin's World. Go sub to Corin's World on YouTube. That's where we do the live Kyle and Corin episodes every Monday night. You don't want to miss those either. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's start with this here. We had this massive cabinet meeting the other day, and I believe Trump held a press conference just before this because he announced this total bullshit scam idea of these Trump accounts. We have Trump accounts for babies. We're going to give them $1,000 and then it's gonna get more value over the years. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be incredible. Literally, they will do literally anything and everything except social democracy, except redistributive policies, except taxing the fucking billionaires. So make no mistake about it. This is a total fucking scam. It's a total ruse. There's something that we don't know about it yet, like what exactly are the billionaires getting out of it? Probably some massive tax deduction or some massive corporate welfare check. You know how it goes. I mean, this is the billionaires' government, so obviously there's a catch here. Obviously it's a stupid fucking idea. So he announces this thing and acts like it's some heroic shit. It's not. Then he has this cabinet meeting, and this cabinet meeting has a little bit of fucking everything in it. So, of course, they did the standard humiliating thing where everybody goes around and goes, "Sir, you're so incredible. You're so amazing. You've single-handedly saved this country, sir. When you fart, it doesn't even smell. Actually, it does smell. It smells like cologne, and we love it. Do it again, sir. In my face, please, sir." Like, they did all that stuff, right? And here's one, like, at this point, it's like, you can't tell. Are they joking? Are they not joking? I don't know. You tell me. But Trump gets thanked here for keeping away the hurricanes during hurricane season. Let's watch.
You made it through hurricane season without a hurricane.
Yeah.
And so FEMA, you kept the hurricanes away. So we appreciate that. And FEMA is deploying resources and dollars 150% faster than ever before.
Meanwhile, Trump's literally on tape saying, "We're going to get rid of FEMA. We're going to send it back to the states. We don't even need FEMA anymore." You have him rejecting disaster declarations from even red states that ask for help. And here they're going, "You've done such an amazing job with FEMA, sir. You're getting that money out really fast." This is so dystopian what we're watching here.
So somebody does have something bad that happens to them, you are immediately there helping them and telling them they have the resources to get back up on their feet. So
literally, it may have been this exact same day or the day before it, Trump just rejected another disaster declaration. I believe it was in Michigan. Northern Michigan, there was an ice storm. It destroyed all the electric. And Trump said, "We're not going to help with federal funds." So now their electricity prices there are going to skyrocket even more than they already are. They're already going up normally. Now they got to rebuild all the infrastructure. If you live in Northern Michigan, you're cooked. You're cooked. You can't fucking afford it. And here they are going, "Sir, you've saved everybody through FEMA," as he's rejecting, FEMA asks. This is insane. That's just a little taste, because then we also get to this one. Trump starts talking about affordability. Now, what's so amazing about Trump is nobody in politics has ever contradicted themselves as much as Trump. I used to think Mitt Romney was a big on contradicting himself. I used to think that Hillary Clinton was big on contradicting herself. They have nothing, and I mean nothing, on Donald Trump. So half the time he goes, "Zoran, he won on affordability. The thing is, us Republicans, we're the actual good ones on affordability. I'm making everything more affordable. It's incredible. We're all on top of the affordability, the big word, affordability." They even started tweeting out on their accounts, "Make America affordable again." Okay? So keep that in mind as you now watch his new line on affordability. Here we go.
I mean, these are the facts we have to get out. And, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything. The prices were massively high. Do you remember when we took over eggs? You did a great job on that, Madam Secretary. Agriculture, Brooke. Eggs were 4 or 5 times higher than they had ever been. They said don't order eggs for Easter at the White House. And we ended up doing it, and we got the egg prices way down, lower than what they were before. But the word affordability is a con job by the Democrats. They say affordable. I watched the other day where some very low IQ congresswoman talked about affordability. She had no idea. Their prices were much higher.
The word affordability is a con job. It's a Democrat con job. The word affordability is a hoax. It's a hoax. Which is it? You can't tweet "Make America Affordable Again" one day and the next day say affordability's a hoax. He's not even trying, bro. He's not even trying. Dog, go back to remodeling the Lincoln bathroom. Go back to fucking building the Jeffrey Epstein Memorial Ballroom. And by the way, that's what Stephen Miller's making him do. That's what the real presidents are making him do. Marco Rubio, who's running foreign policy, Russ Vought, who's running domestic economic policy, and Stephen Miller, who's running immigration. That's what, like, they're like, okay, here, you go play in the corner with Play-Doh, you fat bitch, and we'll take care of the actual governance. That's what's happening. All right, but I'm still not done, because we also have this. Trump dozes off while Marco Rubio speaks to him directly next to him. Just insane optics. So I believe in this meeting, there was a point where they were going, this president, he has insane vitality. He never sleeps. He's always leading the way. He's up late at night. He's up early in the morning. He's always figuring stuff out. This man is superhuman. And then meanwhile, we get images like this.
It never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president
He's talking directly to him. His eyes are closed. He's out. Homie is out skis.
is trying to end it, not because, listen, we got a million things to focus on in the world as a country, but he's the only leader in the world that can help end it. And that's why that's why even as we speak to you now, Steve Woodcock is in Moscow trying to find a way to end this war, to save lives of 9,000 people, Mr. President, as you know, are dying every week.
Toddlers don't need this much positive reinforcement. Toddlers. Sir, you're the only one who can get this accomplished. Gosh, golly. You're great. What? Yeah, no, that's right. Totally, Marco. You tell them, or whatever your name is. Here's some pictures of when he's taking these micro naps during the meeting. Look at those eyes. Heavy as hell, dog. Heavy as hell. By the way, there was this report that came out which documented comparing Trump's first term versus his second term, and his days are starting later and they're ending sooner. So the Brandonification is already happening. It's already unfolding right in front of our eyes. So we have all that ready, and then we also get. I mean, this is a sick joke. This is a sick joke. So he goes back and forth between falling asleep during the meeting, right? And then every now and then he'll go, now let me go on a racist rant. Let's be racist together. He goes, racist sleep. I wish I was kidding. But guys, they don't pretend anymore. It's just, like, they just can't help themselves. They are frothing at the mouth bigots, and they want to spread their bigotry so aggressively that there's no more dog whistles. That shit has been replaced with a foghorn, y'all. Watch this. This is a rant about Ilhan Omar and Somalians, which, by the way, he's been bringing this up in the context of the shooting of the National Guardsmen. Okay, but the person who did that was not Somalian. And he's just like, these Somalians what does Somalians have to do with what happened? They have fucking nothing to do with what happened. In his mind, they do, because he's racist. Not white equals bad. Not white is bad. So he just goes off on Somalians.
And I see these people ripping it off. And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that's. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars.
This is a lie, by the way. It's all, it's the classic trope of, like, the black welfare queens, they're taking your tax money, your hard-working white tax money.
Every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody will say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it.
I love how that's accidentally true. It's true, but not in the way he thinks. It's true in that you're ushering in fascism. You're ushering in straight up authoritarianism. You're destroying the Constitution. You're destroying due process. You're waging illegal wars. Yeah, we're at a tipping point, and you brought us to that fucking tipping point.
We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage.
I'm telling you, man, something's going on mentally with Trump where he used to be able to soften it a little bit and couch it a little bit. He doesn't have that ability anymore, which is why you get the clips like the other day when he said, quiet, piggy. Quiet, piggy. Bro broke out the fucking 1940 style misogyny in 2025. There was also the clip from Mar-a-Lago where he goes, why are you asking me that? Are you a stupid person? Are you stupid? I think you're a stupid person. Just like there's no charm, there's no charisma. It's just like curmudgeonly old man, curmudgeonly racist old man is the vibe that we're getting. Ilhan Omar is garbage. The Somalians are garbage. This is what we're getting. This is what we're getting from him.
It's going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great.
These aren't people that work. By the way, mind you, remember what they've been trying to do with immigration, right? We're going to shut down immigration from everywhere, except from South Africa. If you're a white South African, you can come in. Again, how much more clear do they have to make it? These are white nationalists. These are fascists. They want a fucking ethno-state. They love Israel and they suck off Israel. Why? They're jealous of Israel's ethno-state. It's so gross. And of course, all of it, all the shit they say is totally untrue about, they're all on welfare, none of them work. Like, you just fucking make that shit up. You just make that shit up.
These are people that do nothing but complain.
The world's most prolific complainer going, can you believe how much they complain? I've never heard you not complain. Have you ever not complained once in your life, Trump? But when he does it, I'm Mr. Tough Guy telling the truth. When somebody who's not white does it, shut up and be thankful and gracious. God, they're just so fucking racist. How could you not see it? If you don't see it, I got questions about you.
They complain, and from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Meanwhile, and they fucking clap. Listen. Everybody in that fucking room are criminals. They are criminals. Donald Trump and his billionaire donors are looting the treasury right in front of our eyes. They are looting the treasury. They are pillaging this country. They're taking all the tax cuts in the world and all of the subsidies. At the same time, they kick 17 million people off their Medicaid. They jack up health insurance premiums. They cut food stamps. They cut food going to the food banks. So if you are working class, you're just cooked. You are just cooked. They come along and rob everybody blind, and he has the nerve to talk about the Somalian community like they're the fucking problem. Like they did something wrong. Like, no, these are people who come here and bust their ass and work hard and try to get by and pay the bills and are not fucking bothering anybody. You're the ones who are sending masked thugs to round up innocent people and send them to concentration camps. You're the ones who sent people to El Salvador and they got raped and tortured. Okay? Look in the fucking mirror if you want to talk about criminals. It's just so disgusting, man. It's just so disgusting. And then I also wanted to show you this. Look at this. Just to show you how much of a mess everybody in that fucking room is. So Pete Hegseth, or as we like to call him, Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Kegsbreath. That's what you guys came up with that, not me. You guys came up with that. Shout out to all of you who came up with that one. But somebody else said Pete Hegseth. Like, get it? He should be in The Hague. Pete Hegseth. That one's great, but I think it requires a little bit of explanation for some people, so Kegsbreath might win out in the end. But Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Kegsbreath, and look, his own fucking staffers hate him, because as you can see here, it says Secretary of War and Secretary is misspelled. It's SS, which, by the way, SS is also in allusion to Nazi Germany, the SS, right? So I think somebody did that on purpose. I think somebody, one of his secretaries, one of his staffers, whoever the fuck it is, they're like, fuck these fucking people. And now we're going to like play a little joke on them. And so that's what I think is going on, man. And remember, you know what else is happening right now? Pete Hegseth is directly throwing under the bus an admiral, as opposed to taking the heat himself, and as opposed to Trump taking the heat himself. Both Kegsbreath and Trump admitted that they called for the strike, and then they did the double tap and they killed the survivors. Trump had tweeted that he called for the strike. Hegseth had tweeted that he did a similar thing, or he said it on Fox News, actually, that he's the one who ordered the strike. And then now that there's heat and there's pressure, and everybody knows it's wildly illegal, it's like literally the textbook example of an order that's illegal. They use that exact example. Killing somebody who's like incapacitated, that is no imminent threat on a double tap. So, now that they're caught, now that the media is onto it, what do? They make the admiral take the fall. Which, by the way, understand something, if you're in the military, they will fucking throw you under the bus so fast, you'll have no idea what hit you. They will destroy your life to protect their own ass. Meanwhile, what would a real man do? If you actually have beliefs, if you actually think what you did is defensible, stand on business. Stand on business. Say, yeah, I ordered it, and I'm happy to face whatever consequences because I was right. But instead, they know what they did was illegal. They know what they did was wrong. They know what they did was a terror attack and murder. So now they're begging for an admiral to take the fucking fall for them. So this is where you have a breakdown in, the chain of command. Because when the lower level understands, okay, a lot of these orders are illegal, number one. Number two, if I carry them out, I could eventually end up spending time in prison. Why would they listen to you? Why should they listen to you? You're a fucking joke. You're a pathetic, sick joke. You're a terrorist. That's what you are. A terrorist, and you refuse to rep your actual position because you're a bitch. You're a bitch, Pete Kegsbreath. You're a bitch, Donald Trump. So just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Shameful, shameful pieces of shit. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.